Migrants stuffed into the concentration camp known as Alligator Alcatraz, or Alligator Auschwitz is what I like to call it. Turns out they're facing horrific and inhumane conditions. Who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thunk it, right? Speaking to CBS News, Cuban reggaeton artist Leamsy La Figura, who was arrested in Miami-Dade last week and taken to this camp, said he had not been allowed to bathe for the last 4 days. 4 days, creating, of course, a significant hygiene problem. He went on to say that they only brought a meal once a day, and it had maggots in it, and not the MAGAT version. Okay. Of course, those are the people that stuffed them in there. The sleeping conditions are even worse. Leamsy added, they never take off the lights for 24 hours, which, again, is literal torture. Other detainees told the outlet that their human rights were not being respected, with one saying, quote, "We're like rats in an experiment. If I don't know their motive for doing this, if it's a form of torture, a lot of us have our residency documents, and we don't understand why we're here." Well, I know why. The cruelty is the point. Right, Jesse?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, even, look, we don't expect MAGA or these fascists or fascist enablers to be good planners, but certainly they understand, even in their cognitive deficits, that putting this type of camp where they placed it geographically is going to lead to a disaster. To coin Donald Trump's favorite phrase, the likes of which we've never seen. With hurricane season, we're in full force here with the hurricane season, and they've already flooded even without a tropical storm or a hurricane having hit there. This area flooded. So it's when you start putting people in cages from which they cannot leave of their own will, and then the water rises, we're invariably going to see deaths and injuries, and it will be the fault, despite what they say after the fact, it will be the fault of Donald Trump and Tom Homan and Kristi Noem and the rest of these ghouls.
Right. Exactly. But like the thing about this is I think they already know about these conditions, and I think that they don't care. I think that's the whole point of these camps, is to torture people. These are torture camps.
Yeah, I mean, they want this to be broadcast as a measure of fear for those
right.
to self-deport. They've said we're having people who are Canadian, different nationalities die in ICE detention, and then when asked about it, Tom Homan's like, "Yeah, well, people die all the time," giving the Joni Ernst kind of understanding of human life, which is to say, no dignity offered it whatsoever. It's fucking gross, man.
It really is. I mean, look, there's another detainee from Colombia said he is on the brink of mental collapse. He said, "I've gone 3 days without taking my medicine." And look, a lot of medications, you can't miss a day. And for his case, I guess he can, but, not without some sort of repercussions. I don't know what kind of medication he's talking about. But, medication generally is important. It's generally prescribed for a reason. And if you are not allowed to have access to your medications, you're going to either get ill or possibly even die. And again, I think that's kind of the point. He also added that his Bible was taken away after being told by the guards, "There is no right to religion here."
Yeah. He
said, "My Bible is the one thing that keeps my faith, and now I'm losing my faith." Jesse, I got to ask you, are you a person of faith?
I'm not. I did.
Okay.
I grew up. It's. I think it's easy to lose your particular religious perspective, having grown up in a Christian nationalist, right-wing nutter butter evangelical house like I did. So,
okay, and the reason I'm asked is there are people on the left here that are progressive Christians, and I like to see those people. I don't share their beliefs. I share beliefs with you, Jesse. As I'm not a religious person, but I do respect the people that are on our side that actually follow more to the source material than a lot of these far right, MAGA supposed Christians, and actually following, what Jesus said: take care of the poor, treat your the immigrant as if they're a member of your family. We're certainly not doing this. This is not very neighborly or family treatment, is it? That we're seeing.
It's one of the most stark hypocrisies of the Republican Party, that they claim to follow and deify Jesus the Christ, yet completely jettison any of his philosophies, including taking care of the sick and the poor, right, and children and the elderly, the infirmed, the oppressed. That they have become the oppressor rather than the liberator of the oppressed. And it's, having grown up a Christian in that particular faith tradition, it's, again, it's gross. It's just disgusting. Yeah.
Again, you want to ask where are the pro-religious folks, but we already know where they're at. They're the one cheering on the torture, on the camps, and so and it's because of the people that are in the camps just happen to be born with the wrong color skin. That's really what it comes down to. It's racism, and it's cruelty for cruelty's sake. And again, a lot of the people that are being put in these camps, they're not criminals. They just had the misfortune of not being born here, even though, when you look at what the Trump administration is doing, even if you were born here, you're no longer going to be safe. The Supreme Court just ruled kind of against birthright citizenship without actually ruling against birthright citizenship, but they targeted those those court rulings that would have nationwide injunctions against getting rid of people, deporting people. Well, it's not even deportation. Sorry, it's exiling people that were born here, but you were born to immigrant parents, and we don't like that. Wrong skin color. Sorry. They're holding up the sign, with the different color shades and saying, well, that's okay, but that's not. So we got to get rid of you. And that's what they're doing.
The thing that's not surprising about any of this, but nonetheless still very shocking, is the fact that they told us what they were going to do. Project 2025. It is outlined in that 900 plus page document. Donald Trump disavowed it. The media gave him cover to say, well, Donald Trump disavows it. He disavowed it. So I don't know why you keep talking about Project 2025. That was the narrative of the mainstream media. Now here we are. All of the people who wrote Project 2025 have key positions in the administration. And just by the luck of just coincidence, I guess, all of Project 2025, their wildest, wettest dreams are coming true. With the oppression and abuse of people, the removal of everyone who resides here, whether legal or not, their constitutional due process rights. It's just one more step toward full-fledged fascism, where none of us have any rights at all, and the Republican Party cheers it on.
Yeah, and speaking of Project 2025, it's about 50% done now, completed, and so and boy. They could do that within such a small amount of time.
Yeah. Think about from the perspective of how long this administration has been in place. January 20th, 2025 at noon, and they've already started detaining American citizens under the guise of an immigration enforcement. It's only going to get worse before it gets better, and this is just the beginning of the darkest periods that we're going to go through with Trump as president a second time.
Absolutely. And by the way, I want to get to the Democratic response to this, specifically in this camp, right? So now Democratic lawmakers, they tried to get in there to document what's going on there, and they were stopped. According to Florida State Representative Anna Eskamani, who attempted to visit the facility along with four other Democrats, she said they stopped us pretty immediately. Eskamani and her colleagues tried to visit after reports of flooding at the camp. Later on, a general counsel from the Florida Division of Emergency Management told them that, it was security concerns. That's why we couldn't let you in. Now, Eskamani had asked the general counsel, hey, well, look, if it's unsafe for us, then how is it safe for the people who are there?
Yeah.
Well, it's not. That's the point.
Well, this is why we need stronger leaders in this opposition party that is not an opposition party yet. It's just we're in the minority. We need these Democrats to be actually putting themselves on the line to be arrested, because they have a special position of privilege and power, being elected officials with an absolute legal mandate to be there to provide oversight of ICE facilities specifically. And the fact that they walk up and then, oh, we got turned away, not good enough. We need some bravery being showed, like Baraka in Newark. Or
Brad Lander also.
Yeah.
And so, that's the kind of leadership that we're looking for. And I'm sure we'll get into more of that later, and how the establishment is not exactly looking to really fight back in some of our later stories. But, getting back to the 5 lawmakers, they did say that this is a blatant abuse of power and an attempt to conceal human rights violations from the public eye. And that's the thing, though, right? The whole point of this is to abuse human rights, because they don't believe the people that are in there are actually human. They've been dehumanizing them for quite some time. They've been dehumanizing them during the campaign, and people still voted for it. But again, they also know what they're doing. They know that it's wrong, and they're trying to hide it. Court documents filed in April as part of a lawsuit against the Trump administration or regime revealed that the regime effectively shuttered 3 watchdog organizations at DHS. Employees at the Office for Civil Rights and Civil Liberties, or CRCL, the Citizenship and Immigration Services Ombudsman, and the Office of the Immigration Detention Ombudsman were abruptly suspended in March and given the separation date of May 23rd. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's budget requests for 2026 also zeroed out the OIDO budget. The Trump administration claims that the budget request was just merely a recommendation from the president. Oh, okay, but you still did it. That's what's important here. And look, the result of this, of course, is, 12 people have already died in ICE custody so far this year that we know of, and that's likely an undercount. It's going to get worse, just like you said. This is going to get worse. It is starting to get dark and going to get that much darker, and the conditions here in these camps prove that.
Yeah, it's the banality of evil. This is an attempted ethnic cleansing in our country. They want a white ethno-state, and anybody who doesn't either forward the agenda of ultimately getting that white ethno-state or stand in the way of the white hands that are doing the work here, they will be punished. It's dystopian.
Absolutely. And we need a way to fight back. And, part of that is, yes, having stronger leaders. The other part of it is, of course, us all being strong and getting involved and fighting back against this.
Wow, I am heartened, encouraged, overwhelmed with gratitude toward all of the citizens, the millions of people who have taken to the streets in some sort of a voice of opposition to this, because where we do lack a few, there's not enough. We do have a few in the Democratic Party who are putting themselves on the line and doing what needs to be done, both from a messaging standpoint, but also from an action standpoint. There's not enough of them. And in the absence of them, we need regular citizens to get out there and make it be known that this will not be tolerated. It's going to fall on us, ultimately.
Yep. And that's okay. We're ready to fight.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.